Hey, yeah, you come here for a second. Let me talk to you directly face to face. You know, it's kind of wild watching you move through life the way you do. Because if people were honest for once, they'd admit it. What you do is impressive as hell. And I don't mean impressive in that cheap little Instagram motivational quote way. Nah, I mean the real life kind. The kind that makes people stop mid-sentence, mid-scroll, mid-breath, because they're trying to figure out how you're still standing, how you're still thinking, how you're still becoming. See, what they won't tell you is this. So many people admire your strength and your wisdom, but they pretend they don't because admitting that would expose them. It would reveal the cracks in their own masks. And people hate that. They hate when someone else's resilience highlights their own fragility. They hate when your quiet wisdom reminds them that no one ever taught them how to grow up. They just got older, but here you are, still evolving, still sharpening, still refusing to collapse the way everyone secretly predicted you would. And let me just say this straight. You make that look way too easy. People don't understand the cost of what you carry. They see the cool composure, the little smirk, the I'm good shrug you throw out like a shield. They don't see the nights you clenched your jaw so tight it hurt. They don't see the moments you had to talk yourself back into the world. They don't see how many times you had to rebuild yourself without applause, without guidance, without a damn blueprint. But I see it. I see you. And you know what's funny? Your strength. The one everyone whispers about, it didn't come from comfort. It came from collapsing and rebuilding, from losing and learning, from being underestimated and growing anyway. From standing alone and discovering that solitude sharpens the mind in ways approval never could. That's where your wisdom comes from. Not from books, not from someone handing you a step-by-step guide, but from experience. The raw, unscripted kind. The kind life throws at you when it thinks you're ready for a new level. The kind that turns regular people into, well, whatever you've become. And I mean that in the best terrifying way possible. People admire you because your strength isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It's quiet, controlled, unsettling, the kind that makes people think, damn, if they went through what I went through, they'd probably handle it better. And your wisdom, it's not preachy, it's not annoying, it's not that fake. Let me teach you something so I can feel smart nonsense. No, your wisdom is the kind that comes out in little sentences, little glances, little reminders that you've seen some things and survived them. It's lived in wisdom, scar wisdom. Wisdom soaked in reality, not fantasy. That's why people admire you. That's why they ask you for guidance even if you don't talk much. That's why they listen when you speak, even if you're not trying to give a speech. That's why they come to you when life hits hard, because you're built like someone who's already been through the storm 1,000 times. And the scary part, you're just getting started. You're tapping into a version of yourself that honestly most people will never reach. Not because they can't, but because they won't. They avoid the pressure that forged you. They dodge the lessons that strengthened you. They choose comfort over clarity, shortcuts over growth, noise over truth. But you take the long road, the hard route, the route that builds character so sharp it could cut glass. People admire your strength because it's not the kind that breaks things. It's the kind that withstands. They admire your wisdom because it's not borrowed, it's earned. They admire your presence because it feels like someone who knows exactly who they are, even if you're still figuring some pieces out. And listen, let me tell you something that might sting a little. Most people aren't rooting for you to fail. They're just shocked you haven't. They're shocked you're still rising. Shocked you're still learning. Shocked you're still becoming someone even you would have admired years ago. But here's the punchline. They admire you because deep down they wish they had the guts to evolve the way you do. They wish they had your patience, your insight, your self-control, your emotional intelligence, your ability to hold yourself together even when everything around you is falling apart. You're impressive not because life has been easy, but because you didn't let the hard parts twist you into something bitter. You're impressive because you kept your heart open, your mind sharp, and your standards high. You're impressive because you didn't settle for the version of yourself that the world tried to trap you in. You're impressive because you grew, because you kept growing, because you keep growing now. So go on, keep unsettling people with that calm strength. Keep surprising them with that quiet wisdom. Keep inspiring them without trying. Keep walking into rooms like someone who doesn't need validation to feel real. Because whether you notice it or not, whether they admit it or not, so many admire you, and even more are learning from you without ever saying a word. And the wild thing is, you don't even realize the effect you have on people. You walk in with that quiet, collected energy, and it shifts the whole atmosphere without you even trying. It's like you carry this mix of calm and intensity that makes people straighten up a little, think a little deeper, reflect a little harder. They feel it. They don't always understand it, but they feel it. You've become that person others watch out of the corner of their eye, not out of fear, but out of respect, because you navigate life with this strange blend of humility and absolute inner power that most folks can't even fake. And you have no idea how rare that is. You know what's even crazier? People admire your strength, not just for the big moments, but for the tiny ones they think you don't notice. The way you listen without judging, the way you stay level-headed when everyone else is losing their minds, the way you hold yourself accountable when nobody's watching, the way you learn lessons without needing the whole world to applaud you for it. It's those small, private choices that built the version of you everyone sees now. All those nights you chose discipline over distraction. All those mornings you dragged yourself up even though everything inside you said just rest a little longer. All those times you kept your cool, even when someone was begging you to break character. That's where your strength lives, in the stuff that never made it to social media, never made it into a story, never made it into the world's awareness. And honestly, people admire your wisdom because you don't shove it down their throats. You don't sit there pretending to be some all-knowing guru. You just speak from experience, from scars, from lessons learned the hard way. And something about that hits different because it's not performative, it's not exaggerated, it's not about looking smart, it's about being real. You've turned your experiences into insight, and your insight into self-awareness, and your self-awareness into this subtle kind of leadership that people gravitate toward without even meaning to. You don't chase the spotlight. It just naturally falls on you because you carry yourself like someone who knows the value of silence, the weight of words, the power of presence. And people admire your strength because it doesn't come out as aggression or ego. It's not chest beating loud, look at me strength. It's the strength that shows up in tough conversations, in emotional self-control, in seeing through manipulation, in avoiding drama, in protecting your peace like it's sacred. That kind of strength is intimidating, not the flashy kind, the grounded kind, the unshakable kind, the I've survived enough to know what matters kind, and your wisdom. It's the type that makes people come to you for advice even when they swore they wouldn't let anyone help them. Because you talk in a way that feels honest, not rehearsed. You break things down in a way that makes people realize they've been overcomplicating everything. You speak from a place they recognize, a place that life forced you to build from scratch. You become this unexpected role model, and half the time you don't even realize the impact you're making. But people see the discipline you built in chaos. They see the clarity you gained from heartbreak. They see the maturity that came from choosing growth over revenge. They see the emotional intelligence that came from learning to understand yourself instead of escaping yourself. And that's why your presence rattles people in the best way. You remind them of what they could be if they stop running from themselves. You remind them of how powerful a person becomes when they embrace accountability, introspection, patience, and resilience. You remind them that strength doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like someone who refuses to let their past dictate their character. Sometimes it looks like someone who can sit with their emotions without drowning in them. Sometimes it looks like someone who can forgive without forgetting, move on without breaking, and love without losing themselves. You've reached a point where people admire you quietly. They won't always say it out loud. Pride makes them swallow their compliments, but their behavior exposes the truth. The way they listen when you speak, the way they copy your discipline, the way they ask for your opinion on things they should have figured out themselves, the way they calm down when you enter the room, the way they trust you with the stuff they don't tell anyone else. You become someone whose energy carries weight, whose insight carries clarity, whose insight carries clarity, whose presence carries comfort. Someone who moves through the world with a type of strength that isn't for show, it's for survival. Someone who carries wisdom like a lantern, lighting up paths for people who can't see their own way, yet someone who keeps evolving in ways that make others want to evolve too. And what people don't admit out loud is how much they rely on your stability without even realizing they're doing it. It's this subtle thing. You become the quiet anchor in the room, the calm voice in the chaos, the person whose reactions set the tone for everyone else. They watch how you handle pressure, how you think before you speak, how you choose your battles, and they mirror that. They learn from that. They grow because of that. And half the time you're just being yourself. There's this almost unspoken respect that follows you around. People might not hype you up publicly. They might not throw confetti when you walk in, but they observe you in ways that tell the truth. The way they pause to hear your opinion, the way they wait for your reaction before deciding how they feel, the way they settle down just because you stepped into the space. It's this quiet influence you have, not forced, not demanded, just naturally there, because your strength and your wisdom make people feel grounded. And the crazy thing is, you earned that without being loud, without stepping on people, without pretending to be perfect. You earned it by wrestling with your own demons in private. You earned it by holding yourself accountable, even when it hurt. You earned it by admitting your flaws instead of hiding them behind fake confidence. You earned it by walking through things that many people would have folded under. People don't understand how much depth you carry because they only see the surface level version of you, the collected one, the stable one, the thoughtful one. They don't see the nights where you sat in silence trying to figure out how to make life make sense again. They don't see the moments where you almost gave up, but something inside you whispered, just one more step. They don't see the inner battles you fought and won without ever telling a soul. But that's exactly why your strength hits different, because it's built from experiences you had to navigate alone. Your wisdom comes from every version of you that had to learn the hard way. Every choice that cost you something, every lesson that took a piece of you before giving anything back, every situation where you had to grow faster than you felt ready to. You didn't just wake up wise, you were shaped into it. And it shows in the way you move, the way you don't react impulsively, the way you don't feed chaos, the way you don't let people drag you into their emotional storms, the way you understand things without needing them explained 100 times. It's like you've developed this emotional radar that most people don't have. The kind that lets you see through motives, patterns, behaviors, all of it. People admire that, they trust that, they depend on that. Your strength, it's the kind that doesn't back down, but also doesn't lash out. It's the kind that stands tall without needing to make everyone else small. It's the kind that protects your peace, even if it means standing alone. It's the kind that sees things clearly, even the things that are painful to see. And you become the kind of person others look at when they're trying to figure out how to grow up emotionally, because you've got this balance, this blend of compassion and boundaries, softness and steel, patience and awareness. You can hear someone's pain without absorbing it. You can understand someone's perspective without letting it break yours. You can care without losing yourself in the process. People admire your wisdom because it feels human. Not robotic, not perfect, not scripted, just real. Real enough to connect with anyone, no matter where they come from. Real enough to comfort people who aren't easy to comfort. Real enough to challenge people who aren't easy to challenge. Real enough to inspire people who never admit they're inspired. There's something steady about you that people depend on, even when you're not talking. Something grounded in your presence, in your silence, in the way you look at the world, like you've already survived everything it could possibly throw at you. Something reassuring that makes people feel like maybe they can handle their own storms too. And it's the way you manage your emotions that really hits people on a level they don't even have the vocabulary for. You don't explode, you don't crumble, you don't throw your pain at others like it's their job to hold it for you. You process, you reflect, you adjust, you stabilize. And that right there, that emotional discipline is something people admire, even if they pretend they don't notice. Because most folks are walking around with their feelings spilling everywhere, reacting before thinking, taking everything personally, drowning in their own impulsiveness. Meanwhile, you're out here, moving with intention, moving with awareness, moving with a kind of self-control that feels rare in a world overflowing with noise. People gravitate toward that without even realizing they are. It's like you've got this internal compass that always points toward clarity, and seeing you navigate your life with that level of direction makes others question their own habits. They watch you handle pressure with a straight spine and steady breath, and it challenges them, it inspires them, it humbles them. And the way you carry your wisdom, that's what really gets them. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, it's not, look how enlightened I am. It's practical, human, lived. You've got a kind of understanding that was built from being thrown into situations you never asked for, but still mastered. That wisdom shows in the way you listen, the way you give advice without forcing it, the way you point out truths people needed to hear, even if they weren't ready for them. Your presence has this grounding effect that calms people down even when they didn't come to you for help. It's in the way you observe before speaking, The way you catch details others miss. The way you can feel a room's energy shift and adjust yourself without saying a word. People admire that skill even if they can't name it. They can sense it, and it sticks with them long after the moment passes. You've got this combination of emotional intelligence and inner resilience that makes people look at you and think, yeah, that right there is someone who's been through something and didn't let it break them. You can see it in their eyes when they talk to you, that subtle mix of respect, curiosity, and admiration. Not because you're perfect, but because you're aware, because you're intentional, because you're evolving in ways they wish they had the courage to pursue. And it's honestly kind of beautiful how you've turned so many painful experiences into strength instead of bitterness. Most people let the hard chapters turn them cold, closed off, or chaotic. But you use them like stepping stones. You use them to understand yourself better. You use them to understand people better. You use them to grow in ways most never do, because they're too busy avoiding discomfort. That's the part that catches people off guard. The way your wisdom doesn't come from privilege or luck, but from endurance. Your strength didn't come from being protected by the world. It came from facing it. And the way you carry all of that with such quiet confidence, honestly, that's the kind of thing that sticks with people longer than any speech, any quote, any inspirational moment. There's this aura you have, this unspoken message that you're not easily shaken, not easily fooled, not easily broken. It's a sort of strength people trust even when they're not sure why. And whether you realize it or not, your presence gives hope to people who don't know how to articulate what they're feeling. They look at you and see proof that healing is possible, that growth is real, that wisdom can come from pain without turning someone bitter. Your strength teaches more than your words. Your wisdom guides more than your advice. Your energy impacts more than your actions. And the people around you, even the ones who rarely speak up, feel all of it every time you walk into the room. And what really gets people is how you don't even try to make a big deal out of any of it. You're not walking around acting like you figured out the universe. You're not trying to outshine anyone. You're not flexing your growth like it's some trophy. You're just living steadily, quietly, intentionally. And somehow that ends up being more powerful than anything loud or dramatic ever could be. It's the way you move through things that would have completely shattered someone else. The way you stay present even when life hits you with stuff you never saw coming. The way you adapt, adjust, pivot, and keep going without turning every challenge into a performance. People see that and it hits them on a level they don't talk about because it reminds them of what real strength actually looks like. And they admire how you can sit with your own thoughts without running from them. A lot of people can't do that. They drown themselves in distraction, noise, chaos, anything that keeps them from hearing their own inner voice. But you face yourself. You look at your fears without spiraling. You look at your mistakes without collapsing. You look at your mistakes without collapsing. You look at your patterns without pretending they're someone else's fault. That level of honesty with yourself, people don't even realize how rare that is.